Hello, welcome to the channel and welcome back to Resurwreck Autos HQ. So today, guys, we continue with the Focus ST. Today, that engine is coming out. It's coming out and I really want to strip it all down, take the gearbox off, put a engine, it's like an engine support crane thing, and then you connect it up to the gearbox side and then you can spin the engine round. Really want to look at the internals of the bottom end. So yeah, the rods, the casings, the bearings at the bottom. I just want to double check everything. There's no point going this far without actually taking the engine out and then stripping it completely bare and checking absolutely everything and starting again. So yeah, should be an interesting one again today. Thanks for all the comments, guys. I really appreciate all the support on last night's video. Yeah, everyone's, you know, I had a couple of people say, just sell it as it is and just throw it through Copart. I had a couple of, I'm always going to get people like that, but I'm not like that. So that's not the way I think. And it's all about experience as well. So it's a good experience for me to be able to do this kind of engine. I've done the Fiesta 1.25s. I've had them out, stripped them all down, rebuilt them. And this is just, it's just a little bit more experience doing this type of engine. A lot of people were saying, whilst you've got it out, you might as well forge the engine, forge the internals of the engine. So basically change the pistons and change certain bits and pieces in the internals of the engine. And it won't happen again. It just won't be an issue. That's all well and said, but that to get an internal forge kit, I think you're close to like another £2,000 just for the kit. It's just financially, I don't think that's really feasible because of what I've got into the car already and what I've got to do. But I will look into it and see what I can do when it comes to changing bits and pieces. So let's get into it, guys. Let's do this. Right, so how we left it yesterday, basically took the head off and then basically that was it, wasn't it? So this is the head gasket. Now I've been looking over it, check it. I whipped this head gasket off, and straight away, like I said, look at all that sealant. Look, that should not be on there. There should be no mastic on this head and block whatsoever. So that's just rubbish. So we're going to get a new head gasket kit as well, but you can see what I'm talking about. So someone's put mastic on top of this part and then squashed it down to try and solve the problem. I think this is overheated, this engine. It must have. But you know, to what extent did it overheat, and what was the damage? Now, I am going to be sort of getting an engineering shop to have a look at to look at the block and to look at the head. They're going to be sent away and tested and checked and all that sort of stuff. No question. But yeah, it is the reason why I suspect that it's obviously a coolant issue is because, believe it or not, I don't know if you can see it, but there's all this white powder all over at the back of the engine and down here. Even on these pipes, there's like a little like a white powdery stuff. Yeah, that's coolant. So something is like kind of sprayed that way, I believe. And this is overheated. So someone's tried to repair it by just changing the head gasket, I believe. And it's not done it. If we have to change the block, then we'll change the block. I think they're about £500 on eBay. So we'll get a block, we'll change that, get the head. But it's not normally, I spoke to someone, this particular model of the engine block, they don't normally go wrong that bad because of the channels around the actual pistons are different to the ones previous. This is the facelift. The previous one, the actual block was different. The channels were right round the actual pistons, and it was a nightmare. So this one is a more solid block between all 4 pistons and around the actual gaps. But you can see, like, where's that pick I had? Like, I was just picking it here. You can see that it's like that there should not be there, and it's blocking the channels. It's blocking the water ways. It's blocking the oil channels. This mastic is probably causing more problems than they try to solve. But you can see it's just it's terrible. Like, you just never ever fit mastic like this. It's creating like half the gap. Look. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. So all that's got to be cleaned off. It does. The block itself does spin really nice. Like, I'm going to turn it with the crank bolt at the bottom. I've got a bolt here with a ratchet, and I'm going to turn it, and it spins and turns like the engine itself. The bottom end, really, really nice. Like, they come up and down together, which is a good sign. So the two end, that one there and that one there are level as you're doing it, and then when you go up with the number 2 and number 3, they're even. They come up together. They go down together. Look. So that's a really good sign. I've got to be honest, that's a really good sign. That's the first thing. The other thing, obviously, is the actual bores themselves. And there's no scratching, no gouges, no damage to the actual bores that the piston goes up and down in. So, you know, it has got some really good sign, this engine, but has that warped? That block, it might have warped because obviously it's been overheated. So we've got to get that checked and looked into. I'll clean all that off, tidy it all up, and then put a straight edge across it with a light behind it to see if I can see any sort of gaps or anything like that. But I've got 98% sure that this has got to go to the machine shop to be checked, basically, and see what they come up with. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, guys. This is going to be an interesting one. But yeah, so in today's video, let's crack on. Let's get this. I've got to remove that bracket there from the turbo to the catalytic converter. Remove that, and that will split away, and then the whole engine will come this way. I've still got to take out the drive shaft. Didn't finish that off yesterday. And yeah, we'll get this probably on the pallet, and then I will raise the car up and leave the engine on the pallet and a tyre probably on the bottom, and yeah, start taking it out. So let's do this, guys. Right, okay. So guys, I am ready for this to come out. All that's left is the pipe for the gearbox fluid for the thrust bearing there. So I'm going to leave that for a second. That's what's got to be undone, and obviously the engine mount has got to be done. The back one's undone, so that's ready to go. I've connected up a 4-strap system here, so that should pull the engine up and free it out of the way once I disconnect that side. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it over here. I'm going to rest it here, put a jack underneath the gearbox, and then start undoing the bell in gearbox bolts all round, and that will disconnect the gearbox, and then that will just leave us the actual engine block itself. And then we'll put it on a stand. We'll turn it over, we'll undo the sump, remove that, have a look inside, check it all over. I have, you just see me do that. I'll just clean the top of the head as much as I can for the moment, and then what I'm really going to do is obviously get it checked to make sure that's flat completely. So we've got no issues with that. We're going this far. We might as well check absolutely everything. We've just rebuilt the whole end. Apart from obviously, I don't know whether or not I'll go down the route of pistons out. I don't know yet. I think it might just be, I don't know. We'll have a look at the condition of it, and then we'll make a decision once we turn the engine upside down and have a look in the obviously the com rods and all those kind of bits, bottom end of the engine. But yeah, making some good progress, but it's just so much to undo, so much to take off. But I'm in the best position at the minute because the whole of the front end's off, and the engine's nearly coming out now. I've disconnected the ECU again with the plugs, because obviously I'll just leave it like that, and then everything will come with the engine. All that wiring loom will come with the engine, and I'll just have to pull off a few bits and pieces off the gearbox for allow me to remove it. A few plugs and stuff, but nothing too major. And then once we get it out, and then going to start obviously just stripping all these, I suppose just taking all the wires off. I could just take them off, couldn't I? I'll take some pictures so I know which way they run. But yeah, we'll just have to see how it goes. But so far, so good. That's the plan. We'll get it over here. Let's see if we can get that done today. Get the gearbox off today. Flip it over. Get that sump off today. Let's just see how it goes. I am waiting to borrow the crane for the moment, and he's using it to pull out another engine out of another car. So I'm just waiting for him to sort of say, yeah, you can have it now. It shouldn't be that long now, really, because I've been doing other bits and pieces while I'm just waiting for him to sort of use, because I'm borrowing his crane basically, and he pulls out engines all day long, so he needs it for his own work basically. So yeah, but it's looking like, I reckon I'm gonna have to get my own crane and engine stand. I think it's the only way, really. It just seems like I'm doing more and more mechanical, more and more engines out. Anyone can just change panels, wings, bonnets, bumpers. Anyone could do that. But when it comes to this kind of work, it just seems like I'm doing more and more of it. Don't know why. I just love it. I just like trying things. I like getting involved and having a go. So yeah, that is what we're waiting for, guys. So bear with me. Next thing, I should set you up. We should be pulling this out. Let's do this. Right, okay. So, guys, let me give you an update, tell you what's going on. You just see there, I took the wiring loom off, took the oil filter housing off. That goes there. No idea what that's for, got to be honest. Don't know what it's for, don't know what it does, but it's there. So that come off. Started to undo the bell housing bolts. You can see there's one there. There's one there that stayed in the middle, so that will support it and hold it together. But I've started to take off the ones that I can get to underneath and stuff like that. As well as the sump bolts as well. Started to undo sump bolts, take them off. Left in, again, a few on the corners that will support it and hold it together. And, yeah, haven't quite got to grab the actual crane to hold this up yet. He's still using it. So what we've decided to do, or what I've decided to do, I said, let's go ahead and take out these valves and the seals, the stem seals, and the little clip, what are they called? He did say what they was called. There's like little metal, there's two little metal clips either side of that. They've got to come out. So you compress the actual spring, and then you grab it with the magnet. And then, yeah, you just take them all out and then just put them in the board here. That's timing side. And he said just line them up, put them in the board. And then that way we know where they go back into. Because it's got to be sent off. Basically, we've done a leak test on this. So we've laid it flat, filled up these four with, I think he used, I don't know if he didn't use water. I think he used some other solution. And then once those were filled up, the bores there, he blew air through that port to see what was leaking, and then through them ports to see which one was leaking. And I've got to be honest, he showed me. I should have done a video. I forgot. It did show me, and it was bubbling. Air bubbles was coming out of most of them valves. So yeah, that's definitely an issue. We have to resolve that by taking the valves out. We are basically going back to basics here, aren't we? We're doing everything. But I've got a funny feeling that that's the cause of why the engine wasn't starting. I think he had a coolant leak. He thought it was a head gasket. He's changed the gasket, or is that original? Siliconed it all up, put it all back together. It probably run for a bit, or sluggish, or couldn't get it running. But those were definitely not taken out. Those were definitely not taken out. It is so sooted up in there. I'll show you the valves once I remove them. So let's get cracking with that. It's been a long day. Let's get cracking with that. Let's see if I can get all them out, line them all up. And yeah, let's see how this goes. I've done this once before on the Mini Cooper when I first had, when I was first doing the videos back in the garage at home. So let's just see how it goes, guys. So let's now take these valves out. Yeah, I've got a big deja vu here from when I've done the Mini Cooper. Big deja vu, but hopefully this time this will run. We can get it all built back together, but we don't know until we start having a look underneath the engine. That's the crucial thing about this. I didn't take the Mini Cooper engine out. I just done exactly what this guy's done, changed the head gasket, and that's it. So yeah, let's keep going. Let's do this. Right, okay. So, guys, that is the valves are all out of the car. And I don't know if I can... Let me show you some of these, because these are absolutely terrible. Let's take that one, for instance. Look at that. Now, it only sits right on the edge, like the actual thing you can see. It's just sitting right on the edge, all the way around, is where it actually seals in the actual head. And it's the carbon behind it that kind of pushes it up, and it's gradually, you can see it gradually getting thicker and thicker all the way around. Now, that's what's causing the air bubbles. There's definitely a compression issue with this. Definitely a compression issue, because there's air bubbles in all these valves. This side's not that bad, but yeah, it's not that bad. But there's still an issue with it. They're just horrendous. Like, and different valve, This is one side, obviously. This is the intake, and that's the exhaust. The exhaust seems to be, I don't know if it burns hotter or it just doesn't seem to be as bad. They're definitely smaller. The actual heads of the actual valves are smaller than the exhaust valves. But these intake ones, like some of them are just absolutely caked in carbon. So yeah, there's definitely an issue with these valves. Now, whoever done this before has obviously tried to sort of maybe do the head gasket, seal it up, put it back together, and that was it. They didn't actually take this apart like I'm doing to this extent. So, yeah, all I can do is continue taking the engine out. We'll have a look at the underneath, take the sump off, get all that sort of looked at as well, spin the engine over, see what's going on there, see if it's all okay with that side of it. Send off the head to be inspected, pressure tested, all that stuff they do. Maybe a skim, I don't know, but obviously they'll do all those tests to see if that needs a skim or not. And yeah, you know, that's really all I can do. And then check it all over, rebuild it completely, renew what needs to be renewed. It's funny that, because obviously there's markings, there's even markings here. Look, see these markings on this. So why would there be markings on there? It feels like this is a second-hand head. This is what I'm sort of leaning towards now. That this is actually someone's got this second-hand head and put it on. So yeah, and it obviously didn't sort the problem out because there's no compression with the actual. It's just crazy, isn't it? So yeah, hopefully that's it. But I'm gonna have this checked. It's definitely gonna get checked over. It's going to the machine shop. They're gonna look at that. And yeah, I would have thought if someone bought a second-hand head, you wouldn't have just chucked it on. Even the second-hand head, you've got to get it checked. So yeah, that's kind of where we are. But I've run out of time today. Going to continue on Monday. It is Friday, guys. So have a great weekend. And I'll see you on Monday where we're going to continue with this Focus ST and get it all stripped out. That is definitely coming out Monday and all stripped down. Gearbox off. Everything's getting stripped out. And we'll continue. So have a great weekend. Thanks for watching. See you soon.